Dunn's Last Run: The Death of Ryan Dunn and Zachary Hartwell. Objectives: trace the last run starting at Barnaby's, ending at the crash site. Educate the audience on the fact that the last run was not necessary. Explain the before and after of the crash. Ryan Dunn was born in Medina, Ohio on June 11, 1977. He died in Westchester, Pennsylvania on June 20th, 2011, at 34 years of age, just 9 days after his 34th birthday. Dunn and his family moved to Westchester, PA sometime around his later elementary to middle school years. He became close friends with the Margera brothers as they attended the same schools. Keep in mind that Jess is a year younger than Dunn, while Bam is 2 years younger. In the early 2000s, Dunn rose to fame with Bam through Jackass and Viva La Bam, as we all remember. Bam has said many times in interviews over the years that Ryan Dunn was truly his best friend. This loss had a profound impact on the Jackass star. Zach was a friend of Dunn's. Hartwell tended bar at Rex's and later the Note. Dunn may have been a silent partner in some way at both venues. Hartwell was a former Navy SEAL who proudly served his country as a gunner's mate during the Operation Enduring Freedom. At the time of his death, he was just 30 years old, having gotten married 9 months prior to his wife, Rachel. The vehicle driven that night was the Porsche 911 GT3 997. Pricing began at over $106,000. Dunn's model was likely in the 130s. The vehicle design placed the engine in the rear. Speed stats with a professional driver on a closed course are 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, 0 to 100 in 8.7 seconds. Top speed, 193 miles per hour. Strict two-seater, no back seat available. Impact at the time of the accident was likely 130 to 140 miles per hour. Surely unsurvivable in a rear-engine vehicle, or any vehicle for that matter. Let's not forget that the car also burst into flame upon or shortly after impact. What was left of the Porsche was a charred, mangled mess. From approximately 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., Dunn and Hartwell had drinks at Barnaby's Pub in Westchester, PA on South High Street. Dunn likely parked in a parking garage directly across the street from the bar. Closing the bar at 2 a.m., the two boarded the Porsche for the ride back to drop off Zach at his house located off of Route 100, mere minutes from Barnaby's. In the 2 o'clock hour a.m. on June 20th, 2011, the pair drove toward Zach's house, but past its location, continuing on instead to the Wawa located at the corner of Route 100 and Green Hill Road. Security camera footage confirmed this as the two men entered the store to buy food and/or soft drinks, perhaps even cigarettes. This is what people don't realize. Their crash occurred in such a location that would not have been necessary for them to go. The local news organizations, as well as people around town, confirmed that Zach lived only about 100 yards from the crash site. It is said that Zach's wife heard the crash, given that it happened so close to the home. A head-on collision at 130 miles per hour into a guardrail and trees in the middle of the night could easily wake someone up. I will admit that I don't know the exact location of Zach's house at the time, but what I do know is that any houses located 100 yards from the crash site would have been more easily accessible from Route 100, even considering that they had stopped at Wawa. What I believe happened was Ryan Dunn wanted to open up the gears of the car one last time before dropping off Zach. What I mean is he wanted to drive really fast, showing off the speed of the vehicle. This could easily be done at 2 a.m. on a Monday morning in the summer in Westchester, Pennsylvania. The roads are vacant at that hour. Furthermore, the most perfect straightaway in the county is located right around there. In fact, Dunn crashed while driving on that very straightaway. Westchester is in Chester County. The county is very hilly, has winding roads, all with two solid yellow lines in the middle. There are, of course, limited access highways like Route 202, the PA Turnpike, Route 476, I-95, etc., where you can drive fast and pass other cars. As far as local roads are concerned, there are virtually none straight and flat enough to even allow a passing zone. I don't claim to know every square inch of the county, but I have lived in Westchester, Chester County, for my entire life. I can assure you that from my point of view, Route 322, where the crash occurred, is the finest, flattest, straightest couple of miles of road in the county. For that distance, there are no lights, no stop signs, or side roads for a car to randomly turn in front of you or for a state trooper to set up a speed trap. Unencumbered speed can be reached on this road easily. Given these factors, it is the perfect road for a speed-loving driver like Ryan Dunn to light up at night with his German supercar, make a slight detour to enjoy a quick ride on the perfect strip of road. Of course he would. Attempting to exit from Route 322 onto the Route 100 ramp, Ryan Dunn likely downshifted the Porsche, hit the brakes, which locked up, sending the vehicle skidding into the guardrail barrier, causing a head-on collision at a high rate of speed, perhaps upwards of 140 miles per hour. The car flipped forward into the trees, tumbling through them, eventually bursting into flame. Days later, the funerals for Ryan and Zach were held. Dunn's was attended by the Jackass crew. Dunn was buried back in Ohio where he was born. Zach is presumably laid to rest in a cemetery in the Chester or Delaware County area. A memorial was set up at the crash site with balloons and signs offering remembrances. None of that stuff is there any longer. The crash made the news in many parts of the world. A local newspaper headquartered in Westchester called the Daily Local put the story on the front page. Several people put up that issue of the paper on eBay from anywhere from $50 to $5,000. Zach Hartwell's family sued Barnaby's for having served Dunn so much alcohol, as well as suing Ryan Dunn's estate. Settlements were made out of court for unknown amounts. Could this crash have been prevented? The last run was unnecessary, yes. However, Dunn was drunk and driving erratically. He had been in a bad crash before while sober. He had a history of crazy driving. There was a dark joke among his friends that said he would one day die in a car crash. Unfortunately, this came true on June 20th, 2011. Please drive carefully and never while intoxicated. Thank you for watching.